Hi everyone. I'm showing you an observer's chair that I recently built based on plans designed by Daniel Barth that Dan posted on the Stargazers Lounge a few years ago, and I'll be posting below a link to the website so that you can check out Dan's plans. Now, I modified the chair in some cases to make it a little bit lighter, and this probably comes in at around 20 pounds. I'm not totally sure, but in order to get a little bit of weight reduction, I modified it a bit. And in some cases, I modified it more just to experiment with some design choices than anything else. Now, the chair is made of red oak, with the exception of the seat, which is made of pine. And I did that partially for a little bit of weight savings, because it's not a shear force that sits on the chair, and it's pretty solid even as pine. And also because I located a bar stool top at one of the big box stores that was just easy to cut down the backside to make the seat. Now you'll see that it's an A-frame design, and it relies on a series of rails that then the seat and the footrest lock into. It just tips up and kind of slides back and forth. You can remove it up and down pretty easily. The rails are built using or built by drilling holes down the center line of a 4-inch by 4-foot board, and using a drill press. Now, if you don't have a drill press, you can buy what are called closure strips at any big home improvement stores that would then glue on to this part of the rail, and I guess you'd glue them and screw them just to make them secure. But I found an inexpensive drill press for $65, and I was able to drill these, and it came out pretty nicely. Now, one of the things that I did to save a little bit of weight was use wood rail pins. These just slide in and out this way. I haven't put them all the way in because I'm going to take them out here in a moment. Now, Dan's plans call for the use of metal piping with a screw cap on the end. And I just didn't want to use metal because I thought that would add a little bit of weight. And these oak rods are sturdy enough to hold my weight. Now, if you were going to if you weigh a lot more than I do, if you weigh 250 pounds or 300 pounds, you're probably going to want to replace these with the steel or sort of the metal pipes. And also, you'll see on the footrest, you couldn't really stand on this, and you might be able to stand on it, but if you're going to stand on it, you probably would want to use the metal pipes. Now, the seat box opens up, and I've secured it with a little bit of Velcro, and let's see if I can get it with one hand and hold the phone with the other one. I'll just put the phone down for a second, and then I'll show you what it looks like open. So there, the seat box is open, and I just use it for a little bit of extra storage, and you'll see a little bit later, I'll show you about the feet that I modified, or the part of the design I changed a little bit to add spiked feet, but it's secured with a little strip of Velcro, and it closes up nicely, and it's pretty secure. Now, I didn't use a cushion for the seat because I have a inflatable air pillow that I use for camping and backpacking that fits nicely on top of that, and so when I don't need it for a short observing session, I don't have any extra weight, but then if I'm going to do a longer observing session, it's handy. I can put it on there, and it's also pretty nice during the winter as well. Keep you warm. Now, for the footrest, I just happen to have on hand some coarse sandpaper, so I cut 2 strips of it and put it on the ends, and you'll see that I cut like a 1-inch, or maybe it might have been, I think it's 1-inch oak dowel. Just split it down the sides, and not quite in the middle, but just enough to give it a flat surface to put your feet on. Now, I want to show you the back. Dan's plans, you'll see that I've, the lighting is not great, but I've joined the two legs with a block here and a block here. Now, Dan's plans call for one long strip here, but in order to save a little bit of weight, I reduced it to I apologize for the jittery camera, but to save a little bit of weight, I reduced this down to 2 blocks. Now, I should tell you that when you do that, you get a little bit less holding power securing the legs. And it's also, by the way, secured at the bottom with another block. It's part of the foot of the leg. But if you do that, it doesn't give you quite the holding power that Dan's one long strip would give you. So I did have to modify it a little bit and put 2 little blocks back on there to glue it and give it a little bit extra strength. In most cases, I should mention though, the chair is both glued and screwed, which is to say that when you put the chair rail onto this part, down the middle in the back here and along, I drilled the holes, glued the wood, then drilled the holes, and then filled them with a wood putty. I modified the leg brace a little bit as well, nothing major, and I just cut out a section so that when I folded it up, it will fit neatly into the joining blocks. And for my connectors, I wanted a little spacer in here, so I cut out two little round blocks using a hole cutter, and then drilled through the middle of them. It's just a sort of an experimentation that I did to modify Dan's plan a little bit. So what I'm going to do now is take the chair down, and I'll try to show you this, but in order to do this, I've got to pull out the pins and take the seat off so you can see how it works. So just give me 1 minute. Okay, so you'll see that I've removed the seat and the footrest, and it's just the frame of the chair. And the way this is going to work is, and I'll use my foot, is this piece will pop up and it folds in. There's it folds there, and when I put it down, I'll show you. So it all folds in on itself. So now it's completely folded up, and you'll see that it fits nicely into the body of the leg, and then just it works this way. Folds up, then the brace drops down, and fits into the bottom. Now this is another thing. Dan had a design for securing the foot brace, and frankly, because I'm not as mechanically inclined as Dan is, I couldn't quite figure out what he was doing on this, so I just kind of came up with my own design. His is probably better, no doubt. Then at the ends, you see at the bottoms, for pads on the leg, I used just a section of Velcro, and then I took a piece of indoor-outdoor carpet, or not carpet, but sort of indoor-outdoor doormat, and cut it. You'll see here, so I'll show you, it peels just with Velcro, peels on and off. I glued Velcro to the back of the indoor-outdoor carpet, and then glued the other side of the Velcro to the foot. And it's the same thing on the foot blocks. And these are, again, these remove. Now I should tell you, if I could flip it over, you'd see that on the bottom of this, this is cut at an angle here, right here. And when you do this, you should probably chamfer the ends of it, because it gets to be pretty thin and it will kind of snap off. So you can probably see it a little bit better, the angle on it here, which is right here. And this section right here should probably be chamfered to prevent it from breaking off. Now the other modification I made was I created, and you'll see this in the foot box, or I'm sorry, in the seat box. I created for outdoor use a spiked section that clips on, or that velcros on. So you'll see it's the same thing. It's got a little spike that I put in, and it comes off, and then I can replace it back with the carpeted section when I want to use it indoors or on a deck or something like that with a smooth surface that you don't want to mar. The spikes are just the speaker spikes that I got off the internet. This is probably a little bit of an expensive option because they wound up being about 15 bucks for 4 of them, and I needed 3, 2 for each of the foot blocks, and then the bottom of the leg. So that's it. That's the chair, and you can see the A-frame again. Again, thanks to Dan Barth. Great design that Dan came up with, and thank you for him for sharing that on the Stargazers Lounge. Clear skies, everybody, and happy observing.